Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Liverpool 12th Man, and this is the Liverpool 12th Man Show. I'm doing a preview and a review of the Arsenal game and of the Burnley game coming up in about an hour and a half. I know they're going to give out the lineups probably in the next 30 minutes. So I am going to uh, do a little synopsis. So make sure that you get to see who I think is going to be starting for today. Especially considering last week there was a lot of anticipation for the Arsenal matchup, and rightfully so because it was a headline of one versus two. So it was something that all of us were looking forward to. Unfortunately, it wasn't the result that all of us wanted to see. Big up, big up, big up, Carmino. How are you doing, brother? Good to see you. Good to see all of you that are joining in with me today. Again, the lineups should be updated or released in about 30 minutes. Usually they do an hour before the game. If you guys get the updates before I do, then certainly tell me. But I'm going to make sure. Hold on a second. Make sure that I do this first though. So so this is the Liverpool matchup against Burnley, and I absolutely think that it's going to be an interesting matchup today because look, we have to have a bounce back game. We want to end the year off right, and also it's an opportunity to really just solidify a year that has shown that we've had some bouts of brilliance and some bouts of slight disappointments, I guess you could say. Certainly some disappointments, as much as life, as it is. Let me show you this. Let me go with the Burnley lineup first. So this is the Burnley lineup I believe we're going to see in this matchup. I think we're going to see there's a possibility, I understand too, that we could end up seeing a Burnley lineup that includes basically Foster. I'm going to go with Rodriguez in this game, but I don't know if that's a definite or not. I will honestly admit that I do not watch a lot of Burnley games. No offense to Burnley, but I do believe that this is probably going to be their lineup. They're going to probably come into either a 4-4-2, or you might even see them come out in a 4-2-3-1. They play both of those formations. I know that the back line is this is the back line we're pretty assured to see because it's the back line that they normally play with or normally start with. I know that we will see Trafford in goal. When it gets to the midfield, Brownhill and Burge, you will see certainly in the middle right there. Excuse me. They sometimes come back and play in if anything, they come back and they play sometimes. Let me see if I can get it there. They sometimes play like this, and they'll go this, and then since I do have he can sometimes they'll play like this. And if that's the case, then most likely I think we might see Foster rather than Rodriguez. So I don't know if Rodriguez is necessarily a thing. Big up 12 man. Just hey 12 man, because he's out for the season. Oh, okay. My fault. Well, that is certainly not someone that's going to start then, certainly. Then I would say because on my other side, two sheets that I was going with. I had one with the 4-4-2. That was the 4-4-2. If it's going to be, I didn't know, of course, this guy was out the entire season. So let me bring this guy up here. So it probably would be. Oops. Let's see if I can get it on here. I think it's ODLB. So might be Odebart. And then he might start, but there's another guy. If they're gonna go for 4-2-3-1, I'm gonna go like this. Then bring Tressor, and then also I'll take Rodriguez out, and then put in Foster. Oops. It's going to be interesting how they set up. I know that by saying that in the sense of that, it's going to be interesting to see how what their intentions are. And I know that most likely their intentions are going to be definitely to look to defend more so than to try to go toe to toe with us. But I definitely think that they're going to come out in a more reserved measure, in the sense of, if they do come out in a 4-2-3-1, this is what I believe they might come out in. Big up to Brian for updating me on that injury for them. And then if they might go 4-4-2, then if they do go 4-4-2, then they possibly would utilize something like this. So that could be a 4-4-2 in essence as well. So I don't know much about Burnley this year, other than the fact that I've seen them definitely have high anticipation, or high expectations, excuse me, for this year for them, considering how well they did last year in the championship. But it's been a little bit tough sledding for them this year. Certainly a little bit tough sledding for them to do to really measure. They're gonna Turf Moor is definitely a difficult place to play, so we're gonna see if we can bring out the best in our boys here. This is what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna make sure I get this in before before we get into that, or before they announce it. At least I think that this is the lineup I'm going with. There's a very interesting possibility. Now, this is something I wanted to talk to you guys about, because last week I got the lineup spot on, like police spot on, which is pretty crazy to say, because too often, there's always that one little, variable that Klopp throws in there that you weren't expecting. But this is the lineup I'm thinking of or would like to kind of see, pretty much. This is the lineup I would like to see. The only reason why I have, for instance, Kwanzaa in for Konate is because just of rotation, not necessarily saying that Konate played poorly last week or last weekend. Not saying that Kwanzaa is hands over is the candidate that should be starting over him. More so just from rotation, in the sense that we are going to have to tread a little bit lightly with Konate, knowing his I won't say tendency to get injured, but definitely so I don't want to put that necessarily out in the atmosphere or universe, but more so you want to definitely measure the minutes that we play with Konate, in the sense of his workload. But I do think Kwanzaa could get the start today. Be nice to see the young man play. And then obviously would have Gomez, considering that we have no left backs at the moment other than Gomez, really, that are not academy players, at least. I hope that Simicast has a quick recovery. I hope that Robbo is certainly on the mend and ready to come back very soon. But we're not going to see him for this matchup, so I definitely have Gomez in at left back. Obvious candidates, Trent and Virgil in their normal positions, Allison in his normal position, obviously. I do think we're going to start with Endo. I don't know if you guys have a problem with Endo starting possibly or not. And Brian, I hope that they do. I definitely hope that they do. Brian's saying they try and play football at home, even against big teams, should work in our favor. And then Brian also said that's the side that he picked, but Konate instead of Kwanzaa. Okay. Yeah, again, the reason why I have Kwanzaa in is just simply because of rotation. Considering that we don't have Matip, considering that, again, I do think that we're going to act. I think we're going to bring back some of our loan players, and really not necessarily depend. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to expect to see Nat Phillips all of a sudden in the rotation. I think our definitely our second fiddle or our second fiddle is certainly Kwanzaa to Konate. I think Konate is the preferred or first team starter, but I think Kwanzaa has made a real shout to be that guy this year. Really made a shout that he's interested in playing and interest. His goal is to be a starter, and I do like that. I do like that. And you know what? This is true. Oh no, you know what? How about this, Brian? And I'm going to show you something too. Okay, Brian's saying this. I wouldn't be surprised if Elliott gets to start over Dom either. If it was at home, maybe. I'm going to say this right here for that. I'm looking at Dom and Curtis both starting. I think Curtis is or was the preferred starter since the beginning of the year in that 8th spot, and I think that he has rounded back into form and shown a real determination to solidify that role for him. Endo, same thing. I don't necessarily think that Endo is our guaranteed number one starter at the 6. I think that, Klopp still has it in his mind that he would prefer to have a McAllister or a Thiago or even a Bajcetic in that role for what they offer offensively. But for now, especially since we are limited, he's going to revert back to that whole 6 for being a destroyer. And I don't mind it at all because we get to see a little bit more of Dom. Dom can do a little bit more, not necessarily all the things that people want him to do with Trent being involved in that midfield, but I definitely think that you do get to see that a little bit. He can anchor back a little bit more further. The front line is this. I have Salah, Nunez, and Cody in the front lineup. Now, there is a shout or a possibility that we could see something like this. Now, let me show you what I have. Possibility. I'm not saying it's a guarantee. Okay. All right, let me move these around a little bit. Move them around like this. There's a possibility that we could see. This is crazy. I know. I'm very interested to see how you guys think about this. Very interested to see how you guys think about this. This is a possibility. Would you be mad if you saw this lineup come out as our starting lineup today? I'm not saying this is going to be necessarily the starting lineup, like hands down. This is the one I prefer the one that I showed earlier, the one where I have obviously Mo on his preferred right, Salah on his preferred right side, and then you have Nunez going down to the middle, and then have Cody play left wing for right now. Utilize it, and then you could, and then depending on fitness or fitness or trying to rotate everything else, then you could possibly, because I don't necessarily know if what is the conditioning for Diaz. He had a pretty nasty little knee-to-knee knock apparently. So it's just something. So Brian said, I think Nunez starts left, but Hackbo in the middle. Interesting. I mean, that could be a possibility. You're absolutely right about that, Brian. For me, it's a very interesting one. We have seen Salah occasionally play in the center. There's been always a count that whether it's Chris Angel, I know often says one of his biggest gripes is he'll say something like, we don't have a plan B. And I think that this isn't necessarily plan B, but when we do go to, I guess you say for lack of better words, plan B, I have seen Klopp utilize Salah in that center or striker role, which is very interesting. And also, for instance, in the Arsenal matchup, actually, there's a reason why he was middle and everything else. Okay. Got you. He's saying that's the thing. There's no press conference today, so no updates or any little knocks or injuries. Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing that I agree to is that by not having that presser, then you don't get to know, other than those, those, because I don't even think they showed usually they show like the practice pitch or something like that. They show that little like clips. They show the little clips, and you see the guys walking out to pitch. At least that way you have a kind of concept, or a loose concept of who might be in the lineup. And that's just at least in the lineup, not necessarily on the pitch, but definitely in the lineup in the sense of match day lineup. But I didn't get to see that. I yesterday was watching. Let's see, they had a highlights. They had a highlights so far of LFC I watched, which was kind of weird because I don't know if you guys are watching it or not, but it got frozen in the middle of it. Maybe they're broadcasting live from the North Pole, and that's why it got frozen. But it was something. It was very, very interesting. They showed a lot of the highlights, like pretty much a lot of the highlights. They showed some interviews and then more highlights going forward. They even showed like a Merry Christmas, by the way, to everyone that celebrates. Any of you don't, hope that you're well as well from your holiday cheer and the holiday festivities. I know they showed another one where they showed, some of the players. They showed an interview with a piece where they had one of the fans, a kid that was going through some difficulties, and yeah, it was definitely gripping and touching to see. It's stuff like that kind of like makes you just really, really, not only appreciate the holidays because people go a little bit over and above with their good heart, but it was definitely like uplifting to see, to say the least. I mean, the little boy was like crying when Lucho and Nunez came in or entered the room, and it was definitely touching. I don't know if you guys saw that or not, but that was definitely touching. But yet, all the same, what do you guys think about this possibility? Brian, I've heard Brian say that he would say, are you saying, Brian, that you would rather see Nunez down the middle or down the left, and then have Hakpo play in the middle and Mo back to his original position? What are your lineups for today? Tell me if it's that much further off or that close to what I have here, because this is a possibility. This is definitely a possibility. It's an interesting possibility. I don't want to see Salah as our striker necessarily. I'm not saying that this is my preferred preference in the lineup, but it's an interesting possibility of seeing. I just don't know if Klopp necessarily by saying this. What does that symbolize, or what does that signify? For the future of not only Nunez but the future of our front line if we did go this direction. Because I know that we are going to have to see Elliott eventually, who I do think is going to go. I think eventually Elliott will be our first team right wing, possibly, once Mo goes to AFCON. And or you might see Dom take over that responsibility. You might see Dom take over that responsibility for the right wing position going during the AFCON spell that we'll have. Nothing more, not signifying that they need to start or should start. But yeah, so yeah, and I don't mind. I think Elliott is brings some certain facilitation in, and I like the fact that Elliott has stepped up his concept of engaging himself offensively, not only just through his passing, or not only with his energy and commitment to just being all over the place, being the Energizer Bunny when it comes to energy. I like that I see Elliott taking on the role of saying, putting in a couple cracks at goal every once in a while, and having not only a mind for goal, but certainly a intention of being able to. Big up Beijing Reds TV. Big up. Most likely, Beijing Reds TV. I don't know if you guys are or not, but tell me in the chat if you're still here. Tell me if you are going to do a watch along. Beijing Reds TV is one of the good stations, good channels on the platforms that does watch alongs I know they don't. I know sometimes it depending on their schedule. But it is. Okay, yes, they are. So Beijing Rest TV. If you guys once after this, in about an hour or so, you guys definitely tune into Beijing Rest TV. They'll be doing a watch along, and I'm certain that if you're tired of hearing the parrot punditry like I am, you will have the volume down. You'll have the volume up for Beijing Reds TV. So pick up the Beijing Reds TV. Brian saying, I appreciate that too, Beijing. I appreciate that to all my Beijings out there. He's saying he's trying to play Nunez into form whilst also taking the center striker burden off of him. It's clearly a temporary demotion, though, in Brian's opinion. That's very interesting. Very interesting. I appreciate that, brother. Definitely. I mean, like I was thinking of going down to my boozer, but to my supporter boozer. But I mean, 10:30 in the morning drinking 10:30 in the morning drinking beer is certainly not a good. It's amazing how that is not a good tendency to get into. It's drinking beers in the morning, drinking Carlsberg in the morning is not something fun to do. not a habit you want to try to get involved in. I certainly will say that. Oh man, big up to LC Aaron in the house. LC Aaron, what's good, my brother? So it's interesting. I agree. I can understand. That's the life. Yeah, sure. Oh man, maybe when I was in college or something, that was like more of my life. Waking up for going and tailgating before the games, the big games. But oh man, it can get rough when you're trying to like actually pay some bills. But all the same, you know what? It's going to be interesting. They should be another 7 minutes from now or something like that. They should be announcing the lineup. I'm going to try to keep this on refresh to see what they come out with. But it's going to be interesting. Oh, Zane, big up Zane. Let's see. So Zane, welcome Zane, by the way. He's saying predicted lineup on Twitter is same back five. Oh, that I agree. With Endo, Gravenberch, Elliott, and they have with Salah, Darwin, and Hackbo up front. Okay. Big up to Esman TV. Esman TV is also most likely going to be doing I would assume is going to do a watch along as well. I'm not certain, but they think that it is. I think Diaz is with the squad, by the way, too. I think he is with the squad. I don't believe he's going to start. Kwanzaa starts. Okay. And then, oh, wow, these are coming in fast and furious. Ansman saying, meaning Diaz, he thinks that he's with the squad, meaning Diaz. Okay, it's out. Cool. So how far? So how about you guys tell me how close? Not this lineup here because this is an experimental, random 3-point half court shot, I guess you could say on the lineups. Most likely, it's going to be this right here. I don't know if Nunes will start there, but who did I have originally? I had Mo in the middle, actually, and I did have I had Mo and then Diaz was not starting. I had Hackbo here. Hackbo starting. So wasn't too far off. If you guys have, let me see if I can update it here. Wow, no Jones or Dom starting. Get out. That's very interesting. That's very, very interesting that they don't have Jones or Dom. How do you guys feel about that? How do you guys feel about the lineup that is starting? Let me move this around a little bit. How do you guys feel about the lineup that is starting? Let's see if I can get I'm trying to get these updates. Where do you guys go? Do you go to Twitter for you guys for your updates? Because the app that I utilize doesn't necessarily have it still has possible lineups. Oh, of course, we will always support the boys. You'll never walk alone, for sure. Ensman TV, big up, big up, big up. Always support them. Um, so what Brian is saying is that, oh wow, so if and Brian, if he is trying to get Nunez to get into starting form, what's going to be very very interesting is what they end up doing with what they end up doing with Gravenberch. I'm very big, and I like Gravenberch. I like the potential. I like the talent level that he has. I like the potential that he has. But what's really, really interesting to me, at least when it comes to Gravenberch, is him just centering into his game. Him centering into his game. And what I mean by that is sometimes it looks like he has just a little bit too much going on in his head, in the sense of like he's a lot of energy. He's so athletic. He has an innate ability to be able to outpace a lot of players. But I would like to see him kind of center, and when I'm going to center into the game, center into more of what's the words I'm looking for? Center more into where he's like more composed, more collected, more in tune with the players around him, because I know he has a lot going on in the sense of his ability and talent. Okay, and it's looking like Nunez, Hackball, and Sal up front. Okay, and then Ali, Trent, BBD, Kwanzaa. All right, so I wasn't that far off. I didn't get it spot on this week. I'll try next time. Next week, I definitely will try better, especially for the FA Cup game. I'm very interested to see. Maybe this means that that's what we're more focused and eyeing as being something that we're gonna look to do, which is focus low. Maybe it means that we'll come out with a pretty strong lineup for the FA Cup. I hope so. I certainly hope that's the case. I'm interested in how we're going to do this rotation, especially now that we have so many players that are either on the mend with not necessarily injuries that are going to be career changing or even season ending injuries, but we do have some injuries to some important players or players that we would have seen utilized in different roles for this team, really not necessarily being available, and some players obviously that have been already on long-term injuries that we're waiting and definitely could utilize when they come back to the squad and start to really kick the ball around. Definitely agree with you here. Bless up to the chat. Also, hope you guys had a great Christmas. I hope you had a great Christmas too, Enz. I know that you were talking about your Christmas dinner, I'm sure. I hope you brought home some leftovers from your parents' house. I know you're saying how you guys are going to you look so forward to the Christmas dinners. That's great, and I'm glad. I mean, this is somewhat my Christmas Christmas dinner, I guess you could say, in a sense, or Christmas breakfast, at post Christmas breakfast, because I living out west here now. My family's all East Coast, so it is fortunate. It's definitely a blessing to be able to utilize or be able to see and be with family. So big up to you guys. And when you guys showing up today is kind of like my Christmas. So I appreciate you guys showing up and showing love, because I'm solo and a dolo out here in Arizona. So it is what it is. But yes, definitely Christmas cheer to you all for sure. Let's see. What did you say, Brian, right here? It says definitely the first time these three boys had played. Yes, agreed. Because normally I like the not only the bromance, but I like the connection and the again, this is what I mean by familiarity with your teammates. I like the familiarity that Jones and Elliott have. Obviously, they have a good friendship and everything else. But I agree. Going past the bromance kind of connection, it's going to be interesting what they the relationship that they can build in that midfield, as in not only trusting each other, but also knowing and understanding where each other, what each other's going to do, and how we're going to be able to push over and rotate and kind of move the formation around a little bit for Elliott and Gravenberch. It's going to be very interesting how they work a partnership on there. Diego should be on the bench. I was surprised to see Diego wasn't on the bench for Arsenal, but that was his target game to come out. But yeah, it'd definitely be nice to see. They finally update this. Okay, so yeah, I do have the updated in front of me here. All right. And it looks like I did have I think I had this one close with my original. I got this one right, except for obviously the one player that was injured for the year, and big up to Brian for helping me out with that one. I think I did get looks like I did get Tressar, Brownhill, Burge. Okay, well, I got close to picking Burnley's lineup. I don't know if that's great or not. I don't know if that was a difficult ploy or not. But I mean, it looks like this is going to be a Burnley lineup, which is going to be Brownhill being the start, or being the captain for them. Amoni and Foster up front, and then Odegaard, Taylor. Yeah, looks like I got this one pretty spot on. But yeah, I'm very interested to see what we do with this real quick. So, it is what it is. Since we got a little bit of time and we're still somewhat early, let's just have some fun here. I'd like to see what you guys felt about this. And then before we end the show, we're gonna drop in with score predictions and also with a quick who we think is gonna score. But I wanted to hear what you guys thought about the Arsenal matchup real quick. Let's just get into this real quick. So I definitely wanted to get my opinions out there with who I thought was really was people to give their ideas and concepts on. Zane, you're absolutely right. We needed Diego last this weekend for this matchup, which was, I think that we needed it for Arsenal. I'm going to do a rating for Arsenal matchup. I thought we needed them for it would have been good to see Diego for Arsenal for certain, because I know that Diego loves playing against Arsenal, has some really great results. Oh yeah, absolutely. I got you. Favorite player ready to cook up that midfield. I bet. So real quick, I'm going to go through these ratings real quick, because I definitely want to get into the scores. I don't want to hold you guys up from being able to tune in to either Ansman TV or tune on Ansman TV and Beige and Reds TV to watch their watch-alongs. I'm going to go like this for when it comes to our beloved Reds against those Gunas. That 1-1 draw. I thought it was a really, really tight game, in the sense of like the players, the way that they brought out a lot of it wasn't necessarily, I don't think that Arsenal had us like really against the ropes really, or I understand they hit strong and hard first with the goal in the beginning of the game, but I think that was kind of like a wake-up call, considering that, we saw our Egyptian king Mo Salah score pretty much not a few minutes, but like I think it was like 10, 15 minutes later on a great goal. I definitely think that was a handball, by the way. I'm not sure if you guys are on that page or not. I know that's, John Conway, big up, brother, big up. I don't know if you guys are that. I know it's already water under the bridge, big deal. But I really think that the PGMOL has got a lot of making up to do in stepping up their game with the consistency of their calls, because I've seen handballs given for less, to be honest with you. I really have seen handballs given for less. I kind of want, so let's just start like this. So last weekend we had the Arsenal matchup 1-1. I would definitely say that Yeah. If we take our chances, we win. Still fuming at Trent, we move. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you, Brian. I feel you on that one. Oh man. You know what's unfortunate about it is that it, that's an obvious opportunity that we have to slot home. It's almost a testament of our inabilities to really score lately or really put up the score lines that we expect from this team. Um, but at the very same time, man, um, I know it was windy. I know it was cold. I know it was raining. I know at later on it rained at least. I know that the field was apparently very, very slick because I saw a lot of Arsenal players slipping and sliding. Not many Liverpool fans. I mean, not Liverpool players fans. Players were having the same issues with the turf as the Arsenal guys were. But I thought that it was very interesting to see that that cross kind of like hit a little of a bump. Kind of, you can see how it bumped up a little bit and made it more of a difficult connection with Trent. But let's just get some ratings in here real quick. I thought that despite the goal, I thought Ali had a good game. Didn't have to face that much, but I thought that Ali had a good game, above average game. It's on that borderline of 8 to 7. The header was a well-placed header. It wasn't like the header was some credible pace style shot. It wasn't anything like that. But I don't know if Allison. Merry Christmas to you too, by the way, John Conway. I see you, brother. I don't know if Allison could have done anything with it. It was because it was nice. It was well placed shot. It was like that. It didn't have. It was a well placed shot. Looked like all you saw was Ali kind of go back for it, and he'd already knew that it was already in the net. But that was something that Arsenal was good. You give him a 7, Brian? I'd be. Yeah, he was like I think he was like borderline above average, kind of 7. Because I mean, Ali didn't necessarily have to take on. He had one save in the game, obviously, and that was from inside the box. He had a punch that they connected on a cross. I'd give him an average or above average. I'm there with you. Let's move on to Simicast, who I know a lot of people are disappointed to see him go down because I thought Simicast was really these last couple of games was really finally coming into form. Whereas he was definitely showing some real ability to take on. Some real ability to drop off the advertisement. Some real ability to take on the role of left back for Rabo. He's somewhat of an NA, but I would put him in as an average. Because he really didn't get an opportunity to really go full tilt. Let's see, who else do we have in here? Then we had obviously Virgil. I thought Virgil had a really good game. I think to what a lot of people were saying, in some of their after match commentary, I really did think that Virgil. Oh yeah, for sure. Big up K. What's up, brother? He did know it was a bad injury. I think probably because obviously he saw the impact, or at least he felt the hit when he was pushed out of bounds into Klopp by Saka. Not necessarily intentionally. I know that I'm not necessarily going to go to a point where Saka saw this coming and he intentionally tried to push him into Klopp, but still. Saka has some Arsenal taking out our players is ridiculous. Yeah, you could see he knew it was something. It was bad. He knew it was bad. When I saw him go down, I knew it was bad. It was something. It wasn't like he was playing for a call or something like that, or trying to get the ref to give him a call. That I definitely agreed with. I think Virgil had a good game. I think an above average game. And what I was trying to allude to earlier was that I think that it was certainly a display of whose center backs are better. I personally think, obviously, I tend to side with ours being the better combo. I know there's a big shout out for Gabriel and Saliba as being the best center back partnership in the Prem at the moment. There's a certain shout for that to be realistic and be the case. But when Konate plays the way he played, when he plays the way he played in with Virgil against Arsenal, I think you really get to see you see Konate almost at his best. There were two mess ups, two if not three mess ups that I saw Ibu perform. Is it too harsh to put Ibu as an average because he went the wrong way, he broke the wrong way for the corner and at least allow for Gabriel to get positioning for the header, and also it ended up not being something that resulted in an issue. But when he did kind of, rather than not communicate with Alisson, and he allowed for the ball to be he headed the ball out. I know a lot of people are like, you know what, always do the first thing that comes to your mind, which is like, take care of the problem as opposed to hoping that Alisson was going to be there to take on the role of taking care of that cross. I'm going to put Ibu, like Brian said too. I think Ibu was average in the game because of those two mess ups. I just don't. I think that they. Big up Redbird, long time, man, long time no see. Big up. Hope you're well, brother. Hope you're well. I hope that Darwin gets in a performance today that makes you go back to Redbird D9. Don't take it as being. Don't take the D9 off just because you think that you're jinxing him. You are not jinxing him at all, brother. Just showing the love for sure. I think 7 for Konate is a good score. Trent, I think Trent had a great game, to be honest with you, despite the miss. I think he was top tier performance. I thought he was excellent going forward. I thought he was excellent playing defense, to be honest with you. I really do. I think that there's a lot of what we saw in Trent was when you see Trent committed to defending, you get a really, really talented defender and talented performance out of Trent. And I think that he had a top tier performance against Arsenal, despite the miss. I get he missed hit the crossbar, but I still think he had an amazing game. I thought that it was funny. I was mentioning, I think I brought this up possibly to Brian or I was bringing this up to in a couple different chats, is that Trent tried that. He got the great assist to Salah, but he actually tried to get the same pass off earlier in the game. Now I'm talking about, it's like 50-yard style pass in the air type thing to send Mo on his bike. But I love the fact that when Trent is engaged, when Trent is really tuned in to what he needs to do, he does the job, and he solidifies himself as, in my opinion, the best right back in the world. So I'm going to put Trent in as a top tier performance. I thought it was excellent game for him. I also thought Curtis had a great game too. I thought Curtis really played well. Curtis has been back and forth. I say he's above average. I'm not going to say top tier, but I think Curtis had an above average game. And I just think that I think he's really, really doing a good service for his stamp. Nigel, are you that down on his corners? Because you said this, I bet you we get a goal from a corner today. It's saying if Trent takes corners today, which we most likely will see, he says he's going to start to lose interest. I believe I can understand. We have not had we have not had the ability to see a lot of corners being taken that have resulted in goals as of late, at least from what we should be seeing. I think, considering the number of corners that we have been getting, I agree with you on that. But it'd be interesting. It'd also be interesting because I don't think Gomez is going to necessarily take the corners. I don't think Gomez will take the corners. It's going to be interesting to see who does end up taking the corners from the left. Because considering, every once in a while we'll see Dom. I've seen Dom take corners. I've seen obviously Trent take corners. Big up, big up, big up. Now that's my guy, Redbird, showing love. That's for sure. I see you, brother. It's going to be interesting. Who's going to take? Because I don't know if Trent's going to take corners from both sides, which I know that he could obviously do so if necessary. But it's going to be interesting to see who ends up taking the corners for us. Oh, and Dom is starting. Wait, so Dom is starting, by the way. All right. Yeah, I was going to say. Wait, hold on. Oh, my fault. This is against Arsenal. That's why I was like, wait, Dom's starting. I really, really like the fact of that it's going to be interesting to see who ends up being who ends up taking those corners for us. Because again, I know Elliott could take the corners if necessary, but obviously Trent's going to take corners as well. Other than, does Elliott then move over and take corners on the left? I don't necessarily know if that's going to be the case or not. Should be interesting. If you guys can help me out, then who do you guys think is going to be our corner takers to help Nigel out for certain? To help Nigel not get disappointed and lose interest. Who's going to help Nigel out? Who we're going to have on take corners? It's going to be very interesting to see. Let's see now. Let's move on to Endo. Endo, I thought had a great game, by the way. My boy Endo. I think Endo had a top tier performance, to be honest with you. I thought Endo was engaged. He did what he had to do. I know he got the yellow card. It's very difficult to keep your levels up. And have the approach to the game that Endo does, which is not be scared of going into tackles, obviously commit to headers, those kinds of concepts, and still have a yellow card and play on a yellow card for so long. That is really, really difficult to do. Obviously Endo had to take that yellow. He had to do what he had to do to stop that break early. But I really like Endo's play. I think Endo was starting to round into form and fitness and getting into pace and shape for what the Premier League offers when it comes to fitness levels. Very similar. I'm not certain who mentioned it before, or I'm not sure if I heard it or if I was in a forum that was talking about it. But when it comes to Endo, when he went to, this is the story at least I overheard, is that Endo, when he went to the Bundesliga, he went from the Belgium league to the Bundesliga league, and when he went he brought in a nutritionist, an actual person to help him with his daily intake of food, and trying to get to be able to condition his body to be able to take on the rigors of the Bundesliga, because the Bundesliga is definitely a level up from the Belgian league. And now that he's going from the Bundesliga to the Premier League, which is again a level up, he's taken the same concept of getting that nutritionist to help him in getting the right food and everything else. I'm certain his family's still eating whatever they like to consume. Whatever Japanese dishes they like to consume. But I certainly know that he is pushing himself to get to that real level of being able to compete, to keep up with the pace. And not necessarily, it's not all about having like the speed, because Fabinho was never a fast guy. That's what's really interesting, is everyone keeps talking about how they always utilize the Fabinho to Endo comparison, and Fabinho was never fast. He was never fast. It was more about his positioning and his ability to engage and take the right angles and to engage in these tackles to be able to recover the ball. I think Endo has certain qualities. I'm not calling him Fabinho. I'm not trying to compare him in that sense. But what I am saying is I definitely think that Endo has some real undervalued abilities to do very similar tasks and needs. Let's see. Brian's saying That's a skill all the top DMs have, being able to play 75 minutes on a yellow. Fernandinho and Fabinho were masters of it. You know what? I get what you're saying about Fernandinho definitely and Fabinho definitely. So there is very few times that we didn't see Fabinho end up with a yellow card and have to, not necessarily you would never necessarily say labor through it. You would have to say, oh, he got a yellow card, all good. You're not expecting for him to get another yellow. He understands how to manage that. I think that it's a unique. I think that's a unique skill to be. I mean, because the other players that we got to see, just like you're just saying here, Brian, Milner and Henderson often, or not often, but would be able to utilize that, take tactical fouls or take important fouls, understanding that they're going to end up with a yellow, and utilizing the fact of their football IQ to deal with that and everything else. Oh man, there's a quote, or not quote. There was in that Liverpool channel's broadcast. They showed all the behind the scenes stuff, and it was very, very interesting to see. For Endo at least, I made sure to write down what it was that Klopp specifically said about Endo, and it was wow, I don't have it in front of me. I don't wait, possibly I do. Hold on. Okay, yes I do. Okay, so this is what Klopp said about Endo when he was referencing him, and it's something that I agree completely. He says, "We need your heart, your legs, your football ability, your football brain, your desire. We need it. We need it." And that's certainly what I think that all of us agree with Jurgen. At the time when we saw, some of our beloved players, Fabinho and Henderson, separate and part their ways for other endeavors. Yeah, that's exactly what we needed and what we're expecting from Endo. Okay, so Dom on the other side of him. I thought Dom had a good game. Not a great game. I thought he had an above average game, though. I know a lot of people are kind of I've seen some people kind of not say sour, but cool their cool the iron, I guess you could say, or cool the burner on the heat that they were giving Dom. I still think that Dom's an exceptional player. I'm so happy that I think that he rightfully so is wearing that number 8 kit. I think he's going to do it true. He's going to do it true measure or true justice, I should say, for the 8 kit. Still has some very big shoes to fill when it comes to making up the kind of legacy that our Gerard had in that 8 kit. But I really think that Dom played well. I don't think he had I think he had one shot. I think he had one crack at goal. Yeah, he had one shot, but it was off target. And he knew he hit it hard, he hit it low and hard. But I think that he knew when he connected with it, he knew it was off target. He knew that was where it was going from the very beginning. But I thought he had a decent game, above average game. You guys think this or whatever, Elsewise, I think he had an average game. Okay. Oh, time is getting on. I got you. You got 6 minutes. I'll get through it, Brian. I need Brian. Brian's my producer. I like it, Brian. I appreciate it. He's saying 7 for Dom. He's not turned into a bad player. He's just needed a break. Glad he gets it today. Yeah, and I agree with you. I agree with you on that. I agree with you. Absolutely agree with you. So Diaz, how are you feeling about Diaz? I thought Diaz had a decent game. Again, I watched the game over, and I know people are very critical at his off. I know we got Diaz for offensive output. I know there's a lot of expectations that a lot of people put on Lucho. I just think that Lucho didn't have I don't think he had a poor game. Brian has him as a 6. Okay. Because there were times and parts and points where I mentioned this during the game, because I actually went to the Boozer to watch it. There were times during the game, packed house, at the local boozer I go to. I agree he had a quiet game. I can understand that. I just like the fact there were times I mentioned during that game where he just put in extra effort in tracking back and showing commitment to trying to include himself in the defensive measures that are necessary for our left side. And that is something that I appreciate to see. Quiet game is correct. I mean, he had one shot, obviously got injured during the game, but one shot blocked. We had 1 out of 2 dribble attempts, 25 touches. Very quiet game is a well-put statement by Brian in that, it wasn't like he got very many touches or opportunities to even really engage himself in the game. Seeing that, where do I have Lucho? I passed by. Oh, Lucho right here. I can understand being a below average. I got you. I know. 5 minutes. We're about to land this plane here. And I get that. I get that. And Brian, you're right. Working hard defensively is the minimum requirement. I always say that, he always says that. That's a baseline. I get that. Sometimes though, with players, I know in this system and in our formation and our system that Klopp demands the intensity and demands that level. It's the reason why he's so high on Elliott in the sense of giving him chances and allowing for him to be included in the lineup pretty regularly as a starter, if not a sub for the most part. I just think that sometimes when it comes to forwards, especially left wings and right wings, sometimes you don't get that you don't get that intensity. You don't get that hard work, intense defensive intensity that you see. I know that sometimes I've said about Vinicius Jr., or Mbappe, and I'm not saying that Lucho is Mbappe or Junior, but he can do better. But I just think that sometimes you don't see the same commitment. Obviously, they're showing much more offensive endeavors going forward than Lucho has for us in the Prem. But that's just my take. All the same, I'm cool putting him as a 6 for the game because I would have liked to see more from him. Same for Cody. I would put Cody as a 6. I thought Cody had an okay game. I would have liked to see him get more. I'm still hoping we can get more out of him than we're actually seeing currently. And Salah, Mo Salah running down the wing. Salah, Egyptian king. So Mo Salah. And what's interesting about Mo Salah is that Mo Salah could have an average game. Mo Salah could have an average game, but he still ends up getting a goal or an assist or both. That's an incredible feat. And this isn't about penalty kicks or penalty goals or anything like that, Very, very interesting. I'm going to put him up for the top tier only because of the goal. I thought Salah, I agree with you, Brian. I thought Salah was more of an 8 than he was top tier. Obviously, the goal, I love Liverpool. What's up, brother? I would say it's a very do you put him in the top tier performance? Because without his goal, we don't come away with anything, So that's really tough to say. Let me go through these the subs real quick. The subs, Gomez. I thought Gomez put in an excellent performance. I thought he came out a little shaky in the beginning, but I think Salah definitely rounded into form the further along that we went. I thought, and this is again same thing that we were talking, same thing Brian mentioned earlier about trying to get Nunez some real confidence. I think the same can be said for Gravenberch because I thought Gravenberch, I would have put Gravenberch as having failed, to be honest with you. I don't know if that's a bad. I'm not saying because I don't like Gravenberch. Again, I'm high on Gravenberch. I think Gravenberch is a talented player. I think he's really good. I just think that you could tell that he was a little bit out of form, a little bit not necessarily fitness-wise. He just wasn't exactly the same, and he brought really nothing to the pitch when he came in, which is unfortunate. Because I would have actually seen if Curtis Jones. I would have liked to seen Curtis stay in, and if you're going to bring Gravenberch, great, but I wouldn't have subbed Curtis out for Gravenberch. I would have liked to see Curtis get. You could see Curtis was wavering a little bit, but I would have liked to see him pull out the full 90. And finally, but not least, we had the 3 subs that we brought in were Gravenberch, Elliott. I thought Elliott had a above average or average for Elliott. That's a good question. I don't know. I'll put above average. And I thought Nunez didn't have really much of anything. I thought he was looking to commit. I don't know. I'm hoping the best for Darwin. Obviously, I'm one of his biggest fans. Possibly second, if not third, to Redbird and Marion, as in his biggest supporters. But wow. I think it's going to pop for Nunez. I'm hoping it pops for him today. I don't think that. I think this is very interesting to say. I'm going to go with. I think that there could be a shot for Gomez as man of the match. I personally thought that Endo was man of the match for me yesterday. I thought that the guy put in a shift. He really is. We were all told, whether it was by Gunnar Lee, that it would be 2-0 if Endo started. Good call on that one, Gunnar. And also, we were told how Rice was going to absolutely outplay him in this match and everything else, and blah 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 blah. All this talk. I thought Endo had an exceptional game and everything else. All right, so it is 10:02. 10:02. We're gonna look at this last little 5 minutes here. Who do you guys? What are the scores for today's Burnley matchup? What are you guys feeling? It is a away matchup, so that definitely probably puts a different ploy on it. I definitely have. I want to see Nunez score. I don't want to see him score necessarily from the left wing. It's going to sound weird because I don't want to necessarily have people start to say, "Oh, he's scoring from the left wing. Let's keep him at the left wing." I don't want to see that happen necessarily. Let's hope that he starts left wing, but he gets his goal from a center striker position. How about that? That's my prediction for Nunez today. He'll get his goal. It won't be from left wing. It'll be from more of a central position. And let's just hope that amounts to it. And then that puts to bed or puts to rest everyone trying to push him out wide and saying that's his natural position. I really like and hope that we can see Nunez really cook and really prosper at the center forward position for us as our rightful number 9. It is kind of weird seeing 9 as a left wing. But I'm looking for I'm going for a 3-0 game today. I'm also looking for a goal from. I would love to see a goal from Gravenberch, to be honest with you. But I don't think we get that necessarily today. I would like to see him get a goal though, just to kind of boost his confidence. I think we are going to get a header for a goal. I don't necessarily think that's going to be Endo per se. How about Kwanzaa with a header goal today? Who knows? I like Kwanzaa, man. I really like Kwanzaa. And then who else am I feeling? So I said Nunez. I know Salah's going to be cracking at the bit to get a goal. Let's go Nunez, Salah, and Kwanzaa. That's my prediction here. Nunez, Salah, and Kwanzaa. And Salah gets a PK goal. Big up Ref for Life. What do you guys think? What's your score predictions? Nigel has it as 6-0. I don't think that they're that bad to do a 6-0. That's tough. Philip is saying 4-1. Okay. That's a possibility. Because I know they're definitely going to be trying to score on us, and they will get a crack at goal once, at least 1 or 2 good attempts at goal. I like our chances. Obviously, I always like our chances with Alisson. And any other score predictions? I have 3-0 is my score prediction. And again, I have Salah, Nunez, and Kwanzaa scoring our goals. And I have Philip has 4-1. Brian, if you're still in the chat, what's your score prediction? I think this is Dustin's score prediction. Is it 5-1 or 1-5? Or obviously, because normally you put the home team first, so I'm assuming that's 1-5. So the lineup is this is the lineup, Redbird, right here, that I'm showing currently. It says predicted, but I've updated it to be what we're going to be seeing in the game. So should be very interesting matchup to say the least. Hey, Brian has this as a 3. Oh, you have 3-0 too. Okay, cool. Nice. 3-0. Okay, so a lot of so I've got 6-0 from Nigel, 4-1 from Philip. I've got I Love Liverpool having it be 2-0 with Hackbo and Elliott to score. That's a good shot. I love Liverpool. Elliott has been looking to score goals, and I like that about him. And also Dustin had it at 1-5. That's cool. That's a lot of goals. I'm not doing a watch along, but I'm going to see about joining the Beijing Reds TV watch along. We'll see if they have room for sure. Big up to Jean Gray. Jean Gray, big up. Let me make sure. Oh, Brian has 3-0 as well with me. Red for Life has 4-0 with Hackbo, Harvey, Darwin, and Mo. I like that. I like that a lot, Red for Life. Jean Gray says, festive greetings to me, being Liverpool 12th man, and the chat. Looking for a either a 1-3 or a 1-4 win today. Darweezy and with the brace. Ooh, I like it, Jean Gray. And Elliot and Mo would be really nice. I agree. Let me see if I can give you the watch along. Hold on one second. I'll put in the watch along if you guys want if you guys want to watch. Oh, okay, got you. Timed out. Definitely. I show this one already. Hold on one second, guys. I'm gonna give you guys the link for the watch along as well. I don't know if a lot of the features I see. I'm not certain how they do some of the features where they show the they'll show the they'll do like a raid or they'll do like a link and they're able to pin stuff. I would love to know how to do that kind of stuff. I don't know. So here is the watch along most likely that I will be participating in. This is for Beijing Reds TV. Should be interesting. I always like joining my Caribbean brothers, and certainly and our Colombian American Chris Angel in the house, representing Colombia and America. So should be interesting to see how we work out today. I know I got to bounce right now. I'm allowed for you guys to go and do your things. Okay, how do I even make mods? You guys tell me how to do that stuff. I'm still somewhat new at the game here. But Brian, you're more. Definitely. I'm gonna send out Can you do that on StreamYard? Can you make people mods on StreamYard? Or I think I might have to do that through YouTube. I think I'll have to go into my YouTube studio to do that. Possibly, right? I don't know. I'll find that out today. So Brian, I appreciate it. I will definitely make you a mod. And I'll make some of the other regulars, make some of the other guys on here mods. And if you guys are not interested, it's not something you have to do. Okay. You can turn down the mod ship, I guess you could say, if you're not interested in that facility. But for all the same, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Yeah, you can do it live, but just look it up later. I will for sure. I'm gonna let you guys go to Ansman TV for their watch along, or you can go to Beige and Reds TV. I'll be joining most likely Beige and Reds TV for their watch along to join them, because I don't think I'm going to make it down to the boozer. Again, I'm drinking kombucha. I don't think kombucha and Carlsberg go together too well. So that's that. But all the same, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for showing the love and hitting the like, sharing this, doing all the necessary things. At least I believe necessary things in what it is to be a Red, which is just supporting each other, showing love, and let's go up the Reds, right? All right. Appreciate each and every one of you. I will see you most likely very, very soon, in less than 10, 15 minutes. All right. See you guys.